Monday. Motivation Monday is what we have on Jam 316 every Mondays. Today we're going to be looking at the mindset of a champion, the mindset of a winner. That's coming up in the next short while. Before we get into that, we want to take a look at the local dailies. But just before that, let's get into today's weather and find out the kind of weather we shall be rejoicing under today. Seems like we're having some issues with that. Well, we'll sort it out. But let's take a look at the local dailies. Standard newspaper scramble for Kenya. That's the big story right there. And it's talking about how politicians are marinating positions. A fresh start, that's the question. BBI presents the country's biggest political movement since the 2010 referendum. We are on the cusp of a new Kenya, and this is how it's shaping up. There's an infographic there. There's the president, and then there's a prime minister, and then you have a deputy prime minister and deputy prime minister, and then you have a deputy president, and then you have ministers from among MPs and technocrats. Then you have parliament, that's the Senate, upper house, National Assembly, leader of official opposition, regional governments, county governments, and MCAs. You know, I took a look at a video clip this morning of Bishop Lai preaching, and he was talking about this BBI thing, and he was saying how we are being told that this BBI is supposed to unite Kenyans, and Bishop Lai was saying, you know what, Kenyans are united. This BBI thing is for the politicians. They're the ones who need unity, because they're the ones who bring this unity in the nation. And he talked about, you know, the whole deal is about positions. What's on paper and what's being fronted are two totally different things. But read it, take a look for yourself and find out what's happening. Religious leaders urge Gideon to follow in his father's footsteps. Christian and Muslim leaders offer prayers for the family at Kabarak and pledge support for the senator. That's another story carried in the Standard newspaper this morning. Let me look at another story I saw here that I think is quite a sad affair. Usually we have the Crazy Monday pullout, but I'm seeing today we have something new in the Standard newspaper. It's called My Health, All You Need to Know. And there's a big story here, bankrupted by childbirth. It is quite a sad story. Let me read a caption for you. Young individuals talking about how childbirth has basically taken them to a place they never thought. This lady is paying 20,000 bob every month for 58 years for the body of her preterm baby. It says Jabali Damaris Makiemi's bundle of joy was born premature and thrust into Aga Khan's hospital intensive care unit. 7 months and 19 million shillings later, the poor boy died. And now his heartbroken mother will pay the hospital 20,000 bob every month for the next 58 years to clear an outstanding bill for a child she loved and lost before he lived. I think there should be special cases like this ones where our hospitals relook at these situations. I mean, for goodness sake, where is she going to get all that money? And for goodness sake, why is it costing that huge amount of money? It's just ridiculous if you ask me. It's unbelievable. And there's an infographic here giving you details of how things really are on the ground. You can take a look at that. In sports, we have quite a bit on the English Premier League. Liverpool loss, Arsenal's sigh of relief, and then quite a bit on local soccer as well. Daily Nation revealed secrets of MP's Somalia trip. That's the big story right there. It says tough questions for 11 politicians who secretly left Nairobi on Saturday for Mogadishu, where they hosted and dined by President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo in what could herald a fresh diplomatic tiff between Kenya and its neighbor. That's the big story right there. Looking at other stories that are making headlines in the Daily Nation, quite a bit on the coronavirus issue, statistics on how far this plague has gone. Africa, we have 3 countries that have confirmed infections. You have Algeria with 2, Egypt with 1, and Nigeria with 1. Asia is the continent that has been greatly hit. China, you have 79,251 cases and 285 deaths. Second is Korea with 2,931 reported cases. So you can update yourself on that whole issue where coronavirus is concerned. On the whole issue of diplomacy, the story on the front page, more inside about the MPs who went to Somalia and what that was all about. And then trying to get to the pullouts of the newspaper today, quite a bit from the counties. You can update yourself on that. But today being Monday, pullout in the Daily Nation, DN2, never too old to return to school. That's the big story there. It says Stephen Mbiu was 27 when he joined Form 1, having failed to enroll 12 years earlier due to lack of school fees. I love that kind of a spirit. Don't let anything hold you down. They keep telling us age is just a number. If you feel you can go for it, go for it. Those are some of the stories you will find in the local dailies today. Make sure you grab yourself a copy and keep yourself informed on what's happening locally and also internationally. And before we listen to some music by Jordan Feliz, the song is called Best of Me. Let's take a look at today's weather. Monday morning, Motivation Monday is what we call our Monday mornings. And this week we are looking at something that I think is beneficial, is going to be beneficial for all of us as we look at the mindset of a winner, the mindset of a champion. In studio with me this morning, I get to hang out with a good friend. Bernard Maingi is here, motivation speaker, mentor, and author. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
It is good to have you.
Thank you so much.
You know, we have talked about this for a while.
Oh, yes.
But today it has happened.
Yeah, it has.
So, the mindset of a winner, the mindset of a champion.
Yes.
First, let's define this winner.
Yes.
When we're talking about a winner, when we're talking about a champion, who is this?
A winner is a person who doesn't look on losing. It's a person who is so much focused on winning that he is unable even to, to see his opponents. Is a person who you cannot even be able to, to look at the, to have even an idea of losing.
Yeah.
You look at what is ahead and no distractions.
Okay.
That is a mindset of a winner.
When we talk about winning or when we talk about champions, for many of us, our first thought gravitates towards sports.
Yes.
Because that's where we have winners and where we have champions. But does this relate to other avenues in life as well?
Exactly, because, the moment per se you get born in this world, life is a warfare.
Yes, yes.
And once you get to know that, life is a warfare, that's where you get to learn that you are in a race. You're in a race, and just like life in the normal race, in the Olympics, we have different categories of sports, and people trying to compete, and everyone is looking for number one. Yes. So it's a race that we need to get to focused on what is ahead of us, not allowing distractions, to be able to sap our energy, but to focus on what is ahead. That is a mindset of a winner. Okay. Yes.
Why mindset? Why is mindset so important?
It's important because I'm looking like if like a computer. Whatever you type on the computer, it what comes out. Yeah. Look at the farmer. If you plant beans, you will not harvest beans. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So whatever we get in our mindset, it's very important. we are supposed to focus on what is positive, what is really building us. Because most of the times, per se, there's so much, we talk about ourselves.
Yeah.
We talk, actually, they say that most of the time, 90% it is talking to ourselves.
Talking to ourselves.
To ourselves. And if only what I'm concentrating on is negative, it's the outlook in life, it's going to come out negatively.
Yeah.
And so because life happens and challenges come in, if we can only take in what is positive, despite what we are going through, the outlook, that mindset of ours, that your mind, you're able to, to focus your mind, what is positive? Definitely everything will turn out positive.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I was just thinking, when you think of winner,
yes.
For some people, the first thing they would gravitate towards is the skill of a winner.
Yes.
Because of what they can do or how fast they can run or how they can manage this. But it's interesting, we are not focusing on that, but we are focusing on the mindset.
Yes.
Would you say the mindset is more important than the skill set?
Now, both of them are important, but the mindset is it's the most important thing.
Okay.
Because if I get to a race, and what I think when I look at my opponents, when we are on the starting line, all I see I'm losing. I've already lost the battle.
Yes.
Even before
you begin.
Before you begin.
Yeah.
So the mindset is very important. We have seen whereby you go in to an interview, a job interview.
Yeah.
And when you go, you find the people sitting at the waiting room whereby you are being interviewed. I mean, they are waiting to be interviewed. You find people who are well dressed. They, sometimes you say they look better like you.
Yeah.
You see like I'm only the young person in this group, and now that you're already having a negative attitude toward the job that you are going for an interview. And when you have that negative mentality towards what you are just about to go in and do, you're already losing the race. And so what really matters in our lives is the attitude towards life.
Okay.
Every one of us, per se, you'll agree with me, we go through challenges, different challenges. But it's our attitude towards those challenges that matters. The skill
not
is...
the challenges themselves.
Yes, not the challenges.
Yeah.
The skill really matters too, but the mindset is the beginning. When you win over the mindset, it is already a battle I've won.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's dig into the mindset of a winner and a champion.
Yes.
What goes on through their minds?
One thing is that, very important, is that the focus. Focusing. It's a very important to know that if you have to be a winner, you have to focus. You focus on the prize. You focus so much that you don't even, you are even unable to see your opponents. You are so much obsessed with the prize or the winning that even the noise that happens, around you, you are unable to, you are unable
it
to
doesn't
even...
distract you.
Doesn't distract you. So you are completely focused. That is one important thing for a mindset of a winner.
As you say that, I'm thinking of that in relation even to our Christian walk. Forgetting those things that are behind me.
Yes.
Forging on towards that mark of the high calling. And I think sometimes many of us get distracted by the noise.
Absolutely. Yes. There's so much noise. And because life is a warfare, we need to be so much. That's why even the word says that in Luke 10:19, that God has given you the power to step on scorpions and serpents, and by no means you shall not be harmed. And so while you are focusing, and you insulate yourself from the distractions of the world, you'll be able to win. Another important thing, and which is part of the skill of a mindset of a winner,
Yeah.
is the belief. You have got to believe in yourself.
Okay.
You have got, tunasema na Kiswahili lazima ujiamini.
Yeah.
Because if today I do not believe in myself, who else will?
No one.
You have got to believe yourself. You have got to believe that this is possible, it can be done, and because God conquered for us, it is possible. I've seen in my own life,
Yeah.
in work life, there's a time per se I went for an interview, and when I went for an interview, the job that I was going for the interview, we were around 10 people. It was just one position. Wow. And some of the guys who were in the lineup to do the interview, they had worked with the organization for 16 years. And I thought, oh my, hapa naona na kibarua.
Yes.
But I said, I'll go in and present my case. And I went inside, I talked to the panelists, and they were impressed. And I was so confident that I'll be able to get that job.
Yeah.
And per se, I got the job.
Wow.
So it is more of how you present yourself. It is more of what is your attitude toward this, whatever it's ahead of you. And through that, you're able to, to surmount. There is no mountain that you cannot conquer.
Yes.
Another important thing of a mindset of a winner, it's gratitude.
Oh.
Yes. Because, per se, we are so fond of whining.
That is so true.
We are so fond of whining and, complaining about issues about life. I would be, for example, today I would want a job, a certain job. When I get that job, I start complaining, this job is so much, you start complaining, the work environment is so bad.
Not good, yes.
And, that is not a fertile environment for God to thrive. You are not able to thrive in such kind of, and not knowing there's somebody who dreams so much to have that job of yours.
Very true. Even you yourself, you used to dream of having that job.
Exactly.
Now you've gotten it.
Yes.
You're taking it for granted.
Exactly. So if you are able to, even when you feel that this is not, you feel it is not right, but be positive. Be positive about it. Thank God for that job. Because the moment, sometimes when we have this job and today you are told there's no more job.
Yeah.
It is now when you know the value of that job.
Yes.
When I'm unable to wake up that morning and go and act that living. That is how difficult it can be. But gratitude, when the spirit of gratitude, it's so much. Even look, even in our own lives, per se. If today I give you something and you are thankful towards it, I am compelled to even give you more.
True.
So it is the spirit of attitude that is gratitude. That is very important, and it's part of the mindset of a winner.
Yeah.
Another thing that is very important as a mindset of a winner, it's you have to be patient.
Oh, that is something a lot of us lack, especially in this generation, because we are so used to instant things.
Yes.
Everything has become so touch and go. At the touch of a button, it's there.
Yes.
And so when you talk about patience, that one is a hard one for a lot of people.
Yeah, because there's no one who has been, a winner overnight. There's no one, there's no a success that is overnight. Even, when something just comes like overnight,
yes,
you don't even it doesn't have much value into it. But when you work towards something and you feel this is the hard work that I put towards this.
Yes.
Even when you get that prize, you feel confident.
Yes.
This thing is for real, I've worked for it. So for you to be, a winner, you have to be patient. You have to wait, just like a farmer. The farmer plows.
Yeah.
He plants, he waits for the rain, he weeds. He has to take care of the plants so that there are no weeds. He has to weed, and until now he has to harvest.
Wow.
So that is patience.
You know, even as I was saying earlier, I'm just thinking, I've even seen in the workspace where young people come into the workspace and within the first 6 months, 1 year, they want to be at the top.
Yes.
And they don't realize that patience. But you know, with patience, there's a process.
Yes, there's a process.
Yeah, maybe in the next short while we can take a look at that, because one of the things I've realized is many people want to take away the process.
Yes.
They want to jump from point A to point B without having to go through the process.
Yes.
You know, and even as I was thinking about this discussion for today, I was looking at the lifestyle of some of the people we would look at and say that's a winner, that's a champion, especially in the sports world. And the process they have gone through is unbelievable. So we'll talk about that shortly. Do you have the mindset of a winner? Or is there an area in your life you're struggling to be a winner, yet you want to be a winner in that area of your life? If you have a question for us, 20316 is the SMS line. WhatsApp number is 0786 316 316. Send in your question even as we continue with our discussion today. Remember, we are talking about the mindset of a winner, and in studio with me, I am hosting motivation speaker, mentor, and author Bernard Maingi is with us. It is Motivation Monday. We are looking at the mindset of a winner, and in studio with me, I have Bernard Maingi, who's a motivational speaker. He is a mentor, and he is also an author. Now, we got the opportunity to go around, as we always do, just to pick people's brains and to find out from them what they think. And the question we had put on the table was, what does it take to win or to succeed? Listen to what several people had to say.
I think when you get saved, then you trust in the Lord, you will become a winner.
To be successful in somebody's life, you must be hardworking and you must pray very hard towards the ones of God, so that He can give you more knowledge and to know what somebody is supposed to do.
First of all, you should know whom you are believed in. That is my Creator. God says in His word that He has good plans for me. He says that He has good plans for me to give me an expected end. So if I believe like that the plans of God, they are there for me, I know He has good plans.
Be positive in your life and believe in yourself.
You have to keep on doing it. If you want to win something, there's something I believe in. Persistence wears out resistance. So you keep on persisting. Endelea tu utawin. Ni kama venye una Usain Bolt ndiye akue venye ni mnoma hivyo. Alihav kupractice kila siku akapersist na ndio kwa maana sasa ni mnoma.
Wonderful comments from several people on the streets trying to answer the question, what does it take to win or to succeed? Bernard, I find it interesting. The first three people, they attributed it to God. Yeah. They talk about you have to know who you are, you have to know your Creator. Is God a very critical factor in terms of winning or succeeding?
I would say that we are here because of God.
Yes.
And actually it's our first priority in our life. You cannot do anything without God.
Yes.
It's our first priority in our lives. And for you to be able, you see, even I think it's in Isaiah 1:5, it said, I have sanctified you and I have ordained you. He has planted great seeds in your life.
Ooh.
All right? And for you, there's no way you're going to be a winner until you know the purpose of God. He has blessed you on earth. Because if it is just about winning, you're going to win. But
then what?
Then what?
Yeah.
Whatever you do per se, it should be kingdom aligned. It should be kingdom aligned.
Yeah.
That whatever I'm going to do in my life, it is just meant for the glory of God.
Yes.
Because I cannot call it a success until God is in it.
I love that.
Yes.
And I love the statement you said. You said God has placed seeds of greatness in everybody's life.
Yes.
Because what that tells me is that You know, seeds don't have to germinate. They need the right climate and the right environment.
Exactly.
And I think that's part of what we are talking about when we talk about the mindset of a winner. Earlier on, we had started talking about the process.
Yes.
Yeah, because you talked about patience, but within this patience, there's something that's happening. There's a process, you know, and I've realized we live in a world today where people are trying to take away the process and jump straight to the results.
Yes.
Talk to us a bit about the process and its importance.
I think, per se, the process is very important because actually, why our country is in the way we are today, because of issues of, you know, of corruption and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's because people do not want to be involved in the process. Yes.
That's true.
And we want to live a kind of life that is microwave. Shortcuts. But the process, you see, per se, even for, look at the, you know, gold.
Yeah.
For gold to be, you know, to be called a real gold, authentic, it has to go through a process.
Yes.
And it has to go through the furnace.
Yes.
It has to be refined until when it comes from the other side,
Yeah.
it is a pure
It is
gold.
pure.
Yes. So this process, which is part of the patience, it makes us who we are. It molds us. Because there's enyewe pasi kuna venye naweza blessika all of a sudden mpaka hata sioni the importance of God in my life.
Yeah.
Unaona?
Yeah.
But when you go step by step in your life, you know, God prepares you. You become, you know, let's say in quotes, ardent
Yes.
for the success. And, you know, when you sit back and you're able to understand what it takes to be able to get where you are, that is the most critical part of it in life.
Yes.
To know that this is a process, you have to be patient. There are no, you know, overnight winners, and you have to put effort and hard work. Even the Bible says, you do not work, you do not eat.
Yeah. You know, earlier on I was telling you,
Yes.
just looking into the lives of some of the people who we look at and we see winners,
Yes.
especially in the sporting field.
Yes.
You know, I mean, and you begin to look at their lives and you begin to see a process
Yes.
that is unbelievable.
Yes.
The number of hours they put in training. You know, I was reading about one of these basketballers, former basketballers,
Yes.
who was one of the greats. And it was saying that he would come before practice, an hour before practice,
Yes.
yeah, to shoot hoops alone
Yes.
before the rest of the team comes.
Yes.
When they finish practice as a team and the others are going home, he would remain behind for another hour,
Yes.
perfecting his shot.
Yes.
I mean, by the time they're getting to the game, he's better than everybody else.
Yeah.
But he put in extra hours.
Exactly.
But we don't want that.
Mm.
No, we don't want that. Especially, I find this generation, we want quick things. And because of the exposure, social media and all these things, everybody wants to be a celebrity overnight.
Yes. Look at our own Kipchoge.
Yes.
Kipchoge.
Yeah.
You know, I was reading the story before he left to what they usually they used to call it, is it Illinois?
Yes.
Yes. He did a lot of practice back where he comes from. And he put a lot of work into, you know, towards
Yeah.
that challenge.
Yeah.
And that date, that day that he won, everybody wanted to be associated with him because
Yes.
now he's a winner.
Yeah.
But I didn't see anyone question about how did he get to that point.
Yes.
What was the process that he went through?
No one talked about the fact he had tried to break that record several times. and
Exactly.
he
No
failed.
one talked about it.
Yeah.
And it's a process. You know, there's a story that is being told of, a black American girl.
Yeah.
He met, an old mama in the supermarket.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, this mama asked the girl, are you an American? Are you, how old are you?
Yeah.
And, you know, the lady was getting very irritated by the questions that the old mama was asking.
Yeah.
And finally, the lady told the girl, you're going to be Mrs. World.
Wow.
And this lady thought, I think this mama is crazy.
Yes.
And this lady just took it upon herself. And she went and started, like I understand in US when you want to, to compete in US models, you have to win in the states alone, the state alone. So the state that she was coming from, she competed so many times, I think around 6 times, and she failed. She never got it. Until I understand the 7th one is when she won the state.
Yeah.
Now they went to the national.
Yeah.
She won also again.
Wow.
And now she went to Miss World. Miss World, she tried 6 times. She never won. Until the 13th time is when she won. So when I look at that, it's a process. We have to go through a process.
Yes.
We have to go through a process that makes us, understand what it means to have this. For me, it has been a process. Where I am today, I am an author. I'm a motivational speaker. But I didn't wake up and become a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
I remember I used to, to send messages to people just in the morning, encouraging them.
On the phone?
On the phone.
Yeah.
And somebody told me, I think these messages, you can translate them to a book.
Really?
Yes. And that is how I came up with my first book.
You had never thought that you could write a book?
I never thought I could write even a single. I have never been ever thought I would ever be an author.
What?
And I realized that sometimes people see, the potential in you, and sometimes you don't see the potential in you. And now, Percy, that's how I came with my first book. It's called Living Beyond Your Limit. This is how I came up with my book.
Okay.
Through an encouragement by, friends who I used to encourage them. And I've realized sometimes in life, when you give, it comes back to you. And that is a principle of life that you can never change.
Yes.
It comes back to you and, full measure, shaken down and running over.
Yeah.
And when you give yourself into other people, it really becomes a big blessing. So let us focus on the process.
I want to take you back to the book a bit because I think this is interesting.
Yes.
I'm sure, because I can see you have 2 books.
Yes.
I'm sure by the time you wrote your first book and it came out
Yes.
and you saw it in print and people actually bought it,
Yes.
that gave you confidence to even start working on another book.
Absolutely.
Because I believe sometimes when you conquer one thing,
Yes.
there's something that breaks loose in your mindset.
Yes.
And you realize, I actually did it. I actually did this thing.
Yes.
Meaning, I can do that as well.
Exactly.
And that's what a lot of people don't realize.
Percy, one thing I've realized in life is that when you take the first step, the others just come automatically. I think the most important thing is just taking that first step.
Yeah.
Actually, last week, I've always been wanting to be talking to young girls and guys, because the way our generation is coming, so that I can be able to help them. And I was really looking forward to, I've always saying I want to talk to schools, to people, students in schools, and my former, deputy principal, Mr. Richard Monde, granted me the opportunity to talk to students.
Yes.
And I was amazed. I went and found the school as a population of 900 students.
Wow.
And when he introduced me to the school, I was so happy. And by the time I was finishing the talk with the students, I couldn't, I'm really looking forward to the next one. Because that was my first step. So when you take the first step, the second and the third, they will come automatically. As Christians, we need to be patient. We need to be patient with ourselves. Because sometimes we're not even patient with ourselves. We are pushing ourselves. We need to go from one step to another, one step to another. And now, after writing my first book, I got inspired now to write, the second book. It's called The Power of Believing. Once you get to, you know, to believe in yourself, to hold on to yourself. There's no one who, you remain unstoppable.
Yes.
So as Christians, we need to, you know, to trust the process. As a Christians, we need to be able to be patient.
Yes.
As Christians, we can't afford to walk like a timid guys. Mindset of a winner. You walk when your shoulders are back, you know?
Yes.
And you walk confidently.
You know who you are and what you carry on the inside.
Exactly. And that's why he said, you know, in Isaiah 1:5, when you were born, God sanctified you and he ordained you.
Very true.
And when he did that to you, you were the son and the daughter of the king.
Let me ask you something, Bernard,
Yes.
because we live in a society that no matter where you go, we put people in classes and we put people in positions.
Yes.
We have a hierarchy, whether we like it or not. Because even when we talk about winning in sports, it's number 1, 2, and 3 who are awarded.
Yes.
You know, in academics, we celebrate the top 5 or the top 10 and all that.
Yeah, or top 3.
Or top 3.
Yes.
Can everybody really be a winner?
Yes.
How?
Winning does not have to be number 1, number 2, number 3.
Aha.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, God has blessed us in different ways.
Yes.
Per se, if today all of us are millionaires or are driving, I don't think we'll have enough roads
Yes.
to drive.
We definitely.
All right?
Yeah.
If all of us are managers, so we'll make the tea for us.
Who will we be managing?
Yes, actually,
Yeah.
now who will be managing?
Yeah.
So even the tea girl, even the sweeper, is at his own, you know, position.
Yeah.
Is a success. Because I believe there's somebody who looks at you when, you know, going to that, you know, office and
Yes.
make tea for the staff, and he admires. I wish I could have that position. Just cook, you know, tea for those guys.
Yeah.
So at your own point, you have to take success as it is.
Yes.
And be able to grow out of that. Because when God has placed you at that very point,
Yeah.
you're able to grow step by step. You can't be static.
Yeah.
And that is that is very important.
Okay.
You have got to know that the seeds that God has blessed in you, they will be able to, you know, to sprout. They will be able to bear fruits. And you have to have a ground for the seeds to be able to bear the fruits.
Yes.
Because as Christians, like I've said, sometimes we feel, you know, it's like we are not good enough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you feel like when you share the word, how will people look at you? Wataniona mimi ati nimeokoka, you know, because you are in that certain clique of people. I think that is a tragedy as Christians.
Okay.
And we need, you know, to be able to stop that kind of thing and be able to stand strong and be able to share whatever is required for us. Because when you go before the Lord, He'll ask you, I placed you at this position.
Yes.
What impact did you make?
Wow. But now I'm hearing voices in my head. We are almost out of time. What would your parting shot be to that individual specifically who's watching or listening to us today and they have never seen themselves as a winner?
One thing I would want to tell them is it is very important for them to be able to, you know, to be positive. No matter how things difficult they look at, no matter how it feels, you have to be optimistic.
Yes.
You have to believe in yourself. You have to keep focusing on what you are supposed to be doing. You have to be a person of gratitude. Because all of us, believe me or not, we go through challenges, but also the attitude that we have towards the challenges, it is very important. And so we need to reach that point whereby even when things don't seem to be working in our in the physical world,
Yes.
we trust God that it's gonna work out.
Wow. Bernard, thank you
Yes.
very much for being a part of the show today. Somebody's asking if they can get your contacts. We'll definitely hook you up with the contacts for Bernard. But I hope you recognize that you are a winner. I love something that Bernard said today. He talked about seeds of greatness that have been planted in you by God. And you know what? It is your responsibility and my responsibility to create the right climate and the right atmosphere for the seeds of greatness in us to germinate and produce that greatness. Well, we are out of time for today, but tomorrow will be Tuesday. God willing, if we are here, we will be going to be having Parenting Tuesday, and we are going to be looking at a very interesting discussion, homemaking. Are we mentoring our young ladies today to be homemakers? I hear stories of men who are saying, oh, my lady cannot cook, my lady cannot do this. So are we really mentoring our young girls to be homemakers even as they get married? That's what we're going to be looking at tomorrow on Parenting Tuesday.